Welcome, race fans. Racing Legends 2023 is underway, and that means it is time to do a hot lap on each track and show you what it took for me to win on each of the tracks. First up will be the legendary track, and let's cover the briefing. You're supposed to reach checkpoints one by one to get to the end of the track. Those are the big green circles, and then you pick up special consumables to slow down your opponents or get ahead. So you start out with certain consumables and you get replenished throughout the race, finish in the top three and receive additional points. Place in the top three and you will be propelled to the quarterfinal all the way through to the final league. So that's what those flags are up there. And here we are starting out on the legendary track. This looks a lot like Nürburgring to me, in the famous Nürburgring track in Germany. It had 140 something turns, and the legend is that there was so many turns that you couldn't really memorize the track. Well, this track is no problem to memorize, and here we do get taken out right at the start by some torpedoes, and I think they use the shockwave consumable. So down here, down below the boat, you can see the engine boost consumable that I just, or the engine repair consumable that I just activated, and this guy got in the way perfectly to allow me to negotiate that first turn. And we do hit the engine boost consumable, which is the second one over there. The third consumable that has a 0 next to it, that is the Torpedo Barrage. And then we have the shockwave consumable down there at the right-hand side of the screen at the dashboard. In there, we do run over one of those pylons that has an engine or consumable replenishment. That's what it is. And down here you see now we do have a Torpedo Barrage consumable that did get activated. And here we're going to go over one of those checkpoints. Here is another one. And here we cut the apex so close that we don't even deal with that consumable reload right there. We just make it right around this turn here. And this is a very narrow track, but once you find this groove, you can make it through here with no problem whatsoever. And coming up here, this looks like the famous Eau Rouge corner in Spa, where you just take this at full speed, basically. When I first started running this track last year, there was no way I could take that full speed. But here, you see that my opponent, there's a guy right behind me, as it turns out, and he was able to get me with his torpedoes, and that helped me negotiate that turn. So here I paid him back with my own Torpedo Barrage, and we're just going for it here down this last part. It's basically the last stage of this track here, and he does hit me. I think that's with some torpedoes, either that or the shockwave, I'm not really sure. But here on this last turn, I found that if you negotiate this turn at half speed right there, you can really make it around here, and you don't run into each end of the track there. You stay within track limits. And here I really think that I have it negotiated here. I'm still at half speed, and I am shocked that this guy cut the inside line like that, but he did get taken out by my torpedoes right there at the end, and I was able to boost in there and get the win. So wow, that was kind of exciting. And once you learn the track, you will find the proper apex and the groove to run as you're running around the track here. So the physics, not graphics, but the physics are a little bit different than last year. There is the consumables over there on the right, the engine repair, speed boost, Torpedo Barrage, and shockwave. So yeah, as you're going through the track, you'll see those checkpoints there, and they have the blue circle with the lightning bolt in them, and you don't really know which consumable you're going to get, as far as I know. But this is the circuit, what I call the short track, because you have to make 2 laps. Each lap is really around 1 minute and 40 seconds in length. And there you see these the catamaran there. That guy is much faster than the flash ship here. The speed flash, I think, is what it is. And yeah, these guys are really nailing me here in the first turn, and this is the hardest turn in any of the circuits for me to negotiate, this turn and the one coming up here. And I started pulsing between half speed and quarter speed to be able to get through the turn here, and you can see that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm at quarter speed, I'm going up to full speed because frankly I just don't have the patience to go at half speed and quarter speed here. So I'm using the outside of the barrier here to just move my way around and stay within range of that guy right there in front of me. And there we do get taken out by some torpedoes, but luckily we do have engine repair consumables here coming up, and we do take the lead here. So now this is one of the areas that you can go at full speed, and once I hit this corner right up here, I do stick at 3/4 speed, and that allows me to negotiate and really without hitting the barriers. And if you hit this corner correctly, you do much better within the last turn. So anyone familiar with Formula One knows that last year the Formula One cars were porpoising quite a bit, and here's a tip of the hat to the porpoising of last year's Formula One cars. This is some big time actual porpoising here, I think. And yeah, so that last turn, that hairpin turn, reminds me of La Source in the famous Spa circuit in Belgium. And there I try to take a shot at that guy with my torpedoes, and that was a big miss. He might have been looking through his rear. There's a rear camera view that I guess you can look at, but I never do it because what's behind you does not matter, was a famous quote in, I think, the movie Cannonball Run. Here I do a lot better negotiating the first turn here on the second lap of the circuit, but I'm still pulsing between quarter speed and half speed. Here I did go full speed to try to get out of there, but now I'm down to half speed again, and I'm going to use this other ship here to help me negotiate this corner. And here I get in the lead, and it's pretty much all over with at this point. Once I get out in the clear, yeah, they just cannot catch me. Yeah, this is full speed. I negotiate this turn. I hit the apex perfectly. You can see that I'm sticking in the groove right here, and then I'm coming up here for the next apex here, and I'm down to 3/4 speed already. And you can see that I'm gonna negotiate this hairpin turn, what I call La Source, a lot better than I did last time. I'm staying at half speed, and here we're porpoising again, and this is actually pretty unnerving the first time I ran into this. But here there is a consumable right out here in the far corner of this turn, so it's intended, I think, that many of the boats go out to that far extent to get that consumable, and that is exactly what happens in La Source. And here, this is the final run to the win. And all right, another first place victory. All right, well, there you go. That's what it took to do a hot lap in both tracks, and what it took to win in both tracks. Let me know if you've negotiated the tracks any better, and if you've got some tips on some of the corners that I was having problems with. Go ahead and let me know about that down below. This is the Jaguar, and I'll see you on the high seas. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if you like it.